25 regular village board meeting to order. We'll start with the roll call.
Steve Wilkinson,
Here.
Don Hiltz,
Here.
Joe Hipsky,
Here.
Matthew Schrader,
Here.
and Becca Raven, and I'm not even gonna try. Uminowitz.
Oh, she keeps telling me that too.
All present.
I'm present. Well, let's get the ones on.
Okay.
Certification of legally posted minute, notice, and I posted the notice of the meeting. It was posted at the coffee shop on Sunday afternoon. It was posted at the post office in the village hall Monday morning. And at Grandma Mary's, I didn't get it posted until this morning because I couldn't get there before they were closed on Sunday. The notice was sent to the Independent Star News, Linda Schwanke, and also Valley Sentinel, Taylor Scott. And item number 4 is approval of the May 6, 2025 agenda. And before we make any motions, I'd like to make a note that we should move our item number 10D, which is the report on the status of bank signatures from old business to new business, make that item 11S in the new business, so that we can include the new village president as a signature on for the bank. So I would make a motion that we amend the agenda to move item 10D, which is the report on the status of the bank signatories, to new business item 11S, and so that we provide for the village president, new village president as signature. Do you have a second to that motion?
I second.
I think a second by Dr. Raven. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I kind of feel like I want to also amend the second item, which is an item underneath 11 new business, letter R, which is board discussion of possible action on Arena Community Food Pantry and moving it back to the village hall. I'm wondering if we can move that up to not be at the end of our meeting tonight, but to move it up to 11D. As a courtesy to, if anyone comes this
No one will
week,
be here. No.
then I was in my, okay, I'm sorry, I thought he would be here.
I asked him to, but he didn't want to come. So.
Okay. Then,
All right. Any further discussion? If not, then I entertain them.
So, a couple things.
Okay.
Is it the intention of the board to fill the vacant trustee seats and have them sit immediately?
Yes.
Then we should move the filling of the vacant trustee positions to the beginning of the agenda so that they can then vote on everything else.
Well, my thought was that that's new business and not old business.
They're coming into old business.
Okay. Well, I don't have an issue.
That's just my...
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. That'd be fine.
Because, I mean, even at number 7, we have Zach giving us updates, monthly maintenance report. If there's any decisions to be made on those things, the whole board should make a decision, not just part of the board.
Okay.
So I would make the motion to move 11A, B, and C to number 7, or prior to number 7, A.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion by Matthew, seconded by, was it Joe, right? Yep. To move items 11A, B, and C from the new business to before the old business, between item 6 and item 7. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I also, is Nick Larson here tonight?
No.
Okay, is anyone here to represent ACES Home Talent tonight? Okay, then I don't need to make a motion to move that.
Okay. All right, so any other discussion before we make a motion to approve the amended agenda? All right, we entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second it.
No, I didn't, I could, but go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the amended May 6, 2025 regular board meeting agenda.
A second.
Second by Don, motion by Becca Raven, second by Don. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The consent agenda items listed under file. And apparently we do not have to approve the, I guess it's not listed, so we don't have to worry about it. We have to approve the April 8th minutes. And then the 21st and the 28th, and then all the monthly invoices and bi-weekly payrolls. What happened to Rob? But we have a list of the invoices here that should be passed around. So everybody gets a chance to see. I'm looking for the invoices. Oh, you got them right there. All
I
right.
just went to get them.
Well, I'm not passing around, so, okay.
You have all of the invoices here with a listing, so you can look at the invoices. We're still waiting on Tony to print checks. So if you want to pass those around, we can go through it.
So while we're waiting to do that, has everybody had a chance to look over their minutes? I apologize that we should have had these all sent out email, but I think most of the stuff was sent email, but as a packet, we just didn't get that organized, or I didn't get it organized fast enough. And of course, once we get a finance committee again, we will have this done ahead of time.
Second roll. And you should.
All right, we're ready to move on. Consent agenda items listed under the consent agenda will be approved in one motion without discussion unless any board member requests that an item be removed for individual discussion. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Dr. Raven, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Matthew. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, this is public comment. Please be advised, for state statute 19.84 sub 2, information will be received from the public. Be further advised that there may be limited discussion on the information received. However, no action will be taken under public comments. So do we have any public comments this evening? You guys see a hand?
Yeah, Paul, Christina, could you clarify the 11A, B, and C as far as the process?
Sure. I was going to do that anyway before.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah, but that's okay, I can do it. Well, let's wait and do it when time.
Okay.
Any others?
I wanted to ask, can I get a name just because I don't know people?
Oh, sure, Jeannie Crow. Will, is it because that we don't have access for microphones? Is that why we're not?
We haven't got it set up yet.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
But we will. We
Oh,
definitely
good,
will.
thanks. 'Cause
We've
even
got an
if we
item.
move closer, sometimes I can't hear.
Yeah, we have an item later in the agenda
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed
to talk about speaker system. Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Any other public comment? Yes. Yeah.
I'm Candy with Coffee Shop, so I just want to, I know we don't have a license in community this time, but I wanted to trade in my licensing for June. Do you want this, or who is this for?
You do.
Sorry, my alcohol license, cigarette and tobacco, and then all of my operator license, so I'd like to get coordinated for next month for approval of, for renewal, so I guess.
Absolutely.
And then there's a line.
Take it from
If you can.
Any other public comment? All right, let's move on. Speakers, we gotta go to 11 A, B, C, okay. So, the procedure for filling the vacant trustee position, this would be the one-year position. We will entertain anyone that's interested in being the trustee. We have 2 letters of interest right now, and anybody else that's present that wants to be a trustee, just present yourselves, and we will, after everybody has done that, we will cast ballots by the village board, 5 members here, and the majority will win, and we will continue to cast ballots until we reach a majority. That person then would take an oath of office and then immediately become a part of the board. After that, then we pick out, of the 6 trustees here, we would pick out, we would entertain the people that have indicated an interest in being village president. We have one of those by letter, and any others in the audience that are interested. And then we would, in nominations from the board themselves, and we would, again, vote by ballot until a majority, this time it would be 4, would be elected. And then after the village president is elected, takes the oath of office, then that person would become village president and take over the meeting. At that time, then we would fill the remaining trustee position, and the same process, but the term for that, well, I should go back to the term for the village president would be 2 years. The term for the last trustee will be either 1 or 2 years, depending on who is elected for president. Or, yes. In the board, because some people would have 1 year, some people would have 2 years. So does that explain it, or not?
So you do not have to be a trustee to be elected for nominated for, elected for village president?
Yes, you do have to be a trustee.
Okay.
You have to be for village president. You do not have to be to be elected as a trustee.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, so the first trustee that's appointed would be eligible to be village president.
Correct.
Can I just ask, just a point the order, I'm not sure if that's the right term. Is there a reason why we are appointing a trustee first, and then a village president next, and then a trustee when we have 2 seats open? Does it not make sense to appoint
Technically,
I
as
just want to be
Becca
clear.
is saying, we have 2 trustee seats open. Of the 7 trustees that would be there, 1 person could be nominated and elected president.
And I'm just wondering, because Steve is pro temp, like village president pro temp, so I just want to be clear on,
Well, it goes back to the term, because if we choose 2 trustees, we wouldn't know how many years the terms would be, depending on who the village president is, because the statute says that a trustee is a 2-year office, same way as the president is.
To just further that, our ordinances state that the president has to be elected in the opposite year. So if you took a person who only had 1 year, or not the opposite, but the
Odd number year.
yeah, thanks, Steve. Then if a person only had 1 year, then he'd be back in this position again next year. trying to appoint another village president.
That's correct.
So seating the trustee for their term, then seating the president is all dependent on their term.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So we proceed as written.
Does that answer your
Yes,
question?
it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so we will open up the floor to nominees for trustee. We have two letters of intent, one by Paul Castina and one by Ted Strain. And anyone else that would want to be trustee from the audience? Yes, sir.
My name is Nathan Finkel. I've lived in the village for 8 years. I think I benefit the committee, the board. I work for the village of Green currently. I have my certifications for wastewater treatment and all disposal, lab, anything you want with that, more than what we do here. I've also got for water treatment, and then anything with water. I mean, I got all my certifications. I had to do 12 different tests through the state for water and sewer.
Okay.
Said I lived here for 8 years. I'm originally from Muscadet. So,
All right, and what was the last name again?
Pinkham, P-I-N-K-H-A-M.
Okay, Nathan? Any other questions for Nathan? All right, any others from the audience that would like their names entered? All right, Ted, you're one of the letters of intent. Would you like to say anything to the board?
I think several people probably know me for quite a long time, obviously yourself, but for the other three trustees that don't know me as well, I've been lived in town since 2010. Moved to Iowa for about a year, but otherwise I've been in the arena since 2010. Wife's been here her whole life. You know, kids have grown up here, so I've been here quite a while. I grew up in Black Earth and Mazo, so been in the area my whole life, if not here. So I am on the planning commission here. I've been on Arena Fire, Mazo Fire, and Arena EMS as just a driver, not an EMT. So done a lot of, community service, public service, volunteering with our golden retriever as a therapy dog. So, just kind of drawn to, volunteer and community service type stuff. So just with my history in town and experience in public service, that hope to be a good addition to the board. If you have any questions, encourage any questions at all from anybody. Got anything?
Okay. Paul, would you like to say anything?
Sure. My name is Paul Plastine. I'm here to express my interest in the open village trustee seat. I've served multiple terms as trustee and village president for Arena. My wife Sue and I have lived here about 16 plus years, and I've honestly been pretty much involved in village government since we moved here. Helped as village president along with the board. I've helped guide the village through some tough times and also good times. And I firmly believe that the village comes first. When I left as village president, the village was in good shape financially. Things we've done according to protocol. And I wasn't afraid to make tough decisions either, along with the help of the board. During the 10 years village president, meetings were generally open. We let people talk. If they had something to say, questions, we're a village of 888 people, and not Madison, Wisconsin. While president, I kept in touch with Iowa County officials, folks across prospective business owners, worked to keep the former Arena Business Association alive and functioning. And board members were also encouraged to seek out business, go talk to people, and just do research for the committees that they were on or chaired. I believe the village president or a village trustee is a facilitator. Sometimes you take the lead, and other times you let others take the lead and listen. And the biggest thing I guess I'd like to go by is to do your research, think, listen, and then speak. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Paul? All right. All right, so we'll go to the ballot. Balloting, we have Nathan Pinkham, Ted Strang, and Paul Christina. Our candidate that we want to choose, one candidate. And we'll pass them in, and Robin will read the names of the trustee and the candidate that they picked, and we'll tally that and keep going until we get a majority. But you're only allowed one vote at a time.
We're going for all three right now.
No,
No.
just one.
Okay.
All right, if you're going to pass them into, it's not a secret ballot or anything, everybody gets to know what you,
Steve Wilkinson voted for Ted Strang. Don Helt voted for Ted Strang. Matthew Schrader voted for Paul Pastina. Becca Raven Uminowitz, is it close? Okay, who voted for Paul Pastina. And Joe Hipsky voted for Paul Pastina. So that is 2 for Paul, 3 for Ted.
Three for all.
Thank you. Keep me honest.
so Paul Christina has been elected for a trustee position on the board. At this time, we need the oath of office.
You're going to have to always get the extra one because I only did one trustee and one president, but I can give it to him.
He's got to do it. Nope.
No, you gotta do it. Then let me go make a copy, have a seat, and then I'll make a copy of this one.
Yeah, the candidate that is elected, in this case Paul, has to take the oath of office, which is a matter of just signing the oath. And then Robin is a notary public, so she'll notarize the oath, and then Paul will be able to assume the regular duties of a normal trustee. And that would include voting and also forums, anything that goes with being a trustee.
Just don't vote now.
No, just a stamp.
And when my next one comes due, I'll probably change it.
All right, so Paul Christina is now part of the meeting and can perform all the duties of trustee. So our next item is filling the vacant village president position. Paul's term as trustee will end in April of 2026, so it's a one-year term. The village president term ends in April of 2027, so that's a two-year term. So at this time, we'll hear all of the, we already established that Paul has entered a letter of interest for village president, and we'll entertain nominations from the board for village president.
I'll nominate Paul Christina for village president.
Okay. Any others? I nominate Matthew for village president. Any others? All right, we'll close the nominations. Would either one of you want to say anything? Paul?
I would just basically repeat what I said for trustee, so I'm good.
All right, Matthew?
I didn't prepare anything. If ultimately the board decides that I should be village president, I will do so to the best of my ability.
Okay. Any questions from the rest of the board? All right, let's go ahead and cast our ballots. Again, it's, you put your own name on it and then the person that you're voting for.
Does Paul vote on this?
Yes,
Or does Matthew vote on this? Yes.
yes. Oh, yeah, there's no way. I need flags. You got everybody's?
6.
Okay. Go ahead and read the,
Okay, Becca Raven Luminowitz voted for Paul Pastina. Paul Pastina voted for Paul Pastina.
Shocking.
Matthew Schrader voted for Matthew Schrader. Don Help voted for Paul Pastina. Joe Hipsky voted for Paul Pastina. And Steve Wilkinson voted for Matthew Schrader. So Paul Pastina is 4 and Matthew Schrader 2.
all right. So Paul, you've been elected as new village president. We have to do another oath of office.
The trustee seat that's coming up, now the term ends in 2026. That's a one-year term. Yeah. Just one.
Yeah.
So Paul, you joined the meeting as village president and have all the duties of village president, including quorums and voting. So go ahead and take over the meeting.
Okay, the next agenda item is 11C, correct? That's the renewal vacant trustee. See,
For 1 year term.
for a one-year term, the term ends in 2026 or 2027.
26.
2026 or 2027.
Right, but it's in 26.
It's in 26, okay. Thanks.
Because it replaces Melissa, correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we're related to. Okay, we have letters of intent.
Well, we still have Ted,
We still have Ted
and we still have Nathan.
and Nathan, right?
Any other?
Is there any others?
Matthew Schrader voted for Nathan Pinkham. Joe Hipsky voted for Ted Strang. Don Helt voted for Ted Strang. Becca Raven and Minowitz voted for Ted Strang. Paul Pastina voted for Ted Strang. And Steve Wilkinson voted for Ted Strang. So that is 5-1. And Ted Strang would be your new trustee.
Congratulations, Ted. Well, thank you. Okay, are we ready to move on? I guess we're at 7 to 8 speakers, Zach Adams from MSA update.
All right, hello everybody. For those who may not know me, though I'm pretty sure at least a board member knows me, I'm Zachary Adams. I am the village's engineer from MSA Professional Services. I have worked with the village for the past 3 years since I graduated from Platteville. And I actually moved to Rena last January, so I'm also a resident of Rena. But nothing too crazy as far as updates, but just kind of go over some of the projects that I kind of worked on since I've been here. We did some sanitary sewer lining and manhole rehab, so basically trying to do minimal digging work to rehab the system to prevent I&I or inflow and infiltration, so like stormwater getting into the sanitary sewer. I've worked on Village Edge Road. I did the design work and oversaw construction of that project. I've done some GIS work with the village, and obviously the kind of two big projects are the new well house and the lift station and interceptor sewer that went in last year, or kind of finished off. I oversaw the construction of that project, those projects as well. So kind of an update on the current projects at hand is I've just been coordinating with GI Construction. They're the contractor for the sewer project on warranty items such as landscape restoration. I'm still, they're trying to kind of figure out their schedule. Right now they're currently working on a project in Barnabelle, so they're close by at least. But basically they'll give me a heads up when they're going to be on the site to finish the landscape restoration work. And then I can let the board know, and Rich know when they're going to be here. That way you guys have some awareness of that. Basically just continue as a warranty thing. So basically if what they do now doesn't keep working, I'll kind of just continue on until the restoration is to the specs. that we're contracted for. We don't have any money to kind of hold over them, but we do have kind of, if it gets to that point, we can get attorneys involved, but I don't see that point happening. So I'll just keep working and coordinating with them as far as kind of wrapping up the warranty work. The well house project and the sewer project are still technically open with MSA. They've been closed out with the contractors, so all the payments have been made to the contractors, but we still have contracts with the village. Our well house project though, we're pretty much capped at what what the village board has agreed to pay MSA for that. So we're not going to be sending any more invoices for the well house project. I believe there's some left over in the sewer project. I don't personally intend to charge any more time to village because all this stuff right now is just coordination with work, so it's not very time suck for me. But the last things we kind of have to do are equipment purchases. We've purchased under the previous administration, or the previous board, I should say, some equipment. The run remaining item is the truck. I'll just coordinate with Rich as far as the past board approved a purchase of the truck, utilizing principal forgiveness from the loans. Basically, the DNR or the state is paying 40% of the truck's cost. The rest of it is going to be included under the 30-year loans. They're 30-year loans, but they're not going to be going out 30 years. You guys have TIF funds that will pay it out, I believe. It was like a 15-year timeline instead. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's 31 or 32.
So, I don't know if there's any questions.
What was that?
I think it's 31 or 32 is what,
Oh, 20, yeah, 20.
2030 or 2030, 31 to 32 of the loans are supposed to be paid off. If I remember right.
Well, under 10 years.
Yes, yes. So obviously you guys won't be collecting as much. The interest rates on the loans are low as they are because they're state loans, but you won't be encountering the same interest over that 30-year period because you're paying it off a lot sooner. So like I said, yeah, it's just warranty work right now. Just going through that stuff. Just coordinating with both contractors on that. Just trying to get that all wrapped up and kind of finally accepted, and they'll be on their way. And I know we do have one open contract with the village right now. Two open contracts. We have GIS services. So basically the mapping services that Rich uses for his water system, the sanitary sewer, and the stormwater system. They're necessary updates in order to get it upgraded to a new platform later on. So currently we're doing updates so that it's ready to get transitioned over to a new platform. So that'll be a separate contract. But it was decided in the previous board that we would just go through the existing contract and revisit the new contract next year to kind of make the transition process. Basically, the current platform that the maps run on is going to be expired. We're not exactly sure when it's going to be expired. At the end of the year, and they're not going to be releasing any new updates for the software. So it's just kind of a time period. It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. We just don't anticipate it's going to be dead next year, so that's why we opted to push it to work off until next year. Because it wasn't, the new stuff we weren't aware of until last year, and obviously the board had not budgeted any funds for it, so that was kind of the decision to push off to next year to be able to budget for that work. And go forward with that. And then the other open project that we have with you guys is a stormwater feasibility study for the low area in town on the northwest side. Just kind of looking at LiDAR data and kind of determine what avenues could we potentially take to get water out of that area. It's just an initial study. It's not going to be the end-all, see-all. It's just kind of see, like I said, the feasibility of doing a future project. So it's kind of a bite off little bits by bits instead of going full board into a big project.
When do you expect that to be done?
So that was planned to be presented at the August board meeting to allow time for budgeting in October, or from August to October for any future projects from that one.
That's realistic.
The budgeting?
Yeah, for the have it done by August.
Yeah.
Will you notify, or will anyone need to be notified about doing the LiDAR scans?
No, the LiDAR data is already done by the county, so we're basically just taking data from the county to kind of look at the profiles and see. We talked about potentially doing some piping, potentially doing some overland flow. So I think we discussed two options: piping straight north to the river, or going out west to the It's a Corps of Engineers, right?
Culvert.
Yeah, it's a Corps of Engineers trench out there. I know there was some confusion if it's Corps or FEMA, but I think it's Corps.
Zach, it's a LiDAR?
So LiDAR is a 3D scan, so basically they fly over and they just shoot a ton of points. Basically, it's just where the point hits the spot that bounces back, and that tells you how far away you are from it. So it's basically creating a 3D surface of just millions and millions of points. So there's some accuracy constraints to it. It's not like super close, but it's well enough to determine these routes and potentially take.
Is this what was done 4 or 5 years ago?
I know Kathy Jennings looked at something. She was a previous MSA employee. But that was more of a concentrated area of like, and she looked at doing some French drains. So it wasn't really outletting anywhere. It was just kind of collecting and then infiltrating away. This is
No,
more.
it really wasn't French drain.
Oh, I didn't.
No.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of what was going on. We tried to look back to find some of that information. We didn't really get anywhere from it, but
Okay.
yeah, I know when I talked to her, at another meeting, she said it wasn't full scale like I was mentioning to her. That's right.
The GIS is for the existing infrastructure, not just the TIF district, correct? I'm asking for coding purposes.
Yeah, I have to look. The TIF district might be on one of the maps, show the extent of it.
But you are doing the existing, it's also for the existing.
Yes, no, it's all the
everything.
GIS, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the main components are the sewer, water, and storm maps because they have the majority of the information. There's like the parcel map, I think, has the TIF boundaries on it, which it's not as big of a deal.
Anybody have any questions? As far as, like the company coming back, you're confident that?
Yeah, I'm
They're gonna
confident.
come back and finish
I've been
their-
coordinating with their office administrator on it, and like I said, they're just kind of scheduling it, and they'll have the project they have in Barnville, they're kind of tiptoeing, they're doing like an exploratory excavation tomorrow, and that can kind of shore up some answers and when they should have availability.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any comments or anything?
Why
Yes.
does it say 8A, problems with the sewer lift?
That's next.
Next line.
Okay.
Zach, that's all, that warranty works mainly all the grass and the trash.
Yeah, warranty works. That and then any other issues that come out, they have a 1-year warranty on the projects or any other issues too, but the main thing right now is restoration.
Okay. Monthly maintenance report?
Thank you, Rick.
We had the 24th, we had the lift station call me and tell me that it was down. I called Steve right away, he came down. I called people because I do not know anything about it. Called Jeff at Dane, Iowa, he told me to get a hold of Sable Construction, so I called Dan. They got us on the schedule, they came out Tuesday.
Which
pulled the pumps.
lift station?
The only lift station.
Okay, all right, because it just says pump number 2. All right.
Yeah, there's 2 pumps in the lift station. We only have 1 lift station in the village of Marina.
Yeah.
Where is that located, Rich?
Down right across from 800 Pine Street. They come out, pulled it. They said it was an over amperage. What happens is a lot of, what they're thinking is wet wipes get caught in there and it shuts it down, but then the next time it kicks in, it just has enough to spin it, so all we did is reset it, and they said that it happens, but you just reset it, hopefully that it keeps going, but that lift station is based on one will run it, but it's always nice to have a backup, is what they said. So if we do lose one, the other one will keep up, and hope that one doesn't go down in the meantime. And they did you guys got one of these papers in front of you? That's what they did. And on the bottom, you'll see what they recommend. They suggest a yearly PM because it is our only lift station. And they would like to see the back truck, everything out of the bottom of it, clean it, get all the grease, debris, every other year.
I'm sorry, what's PM stand for?
Preventive maintenance.
Preventive.
There you go, I was gonna say afternoon. And the railroad,
But before we leave that, did they say what caused the overload?
Yeah, the wet
Did they
wipes.
find? what
yeah, there
wipes?
was some wet wipes still in there. They pulled out, I think, 2 or 3 out of there.
Okay.
Because there's just a small little gap that they run on, it's got a copper collar in it, or a brass copper in it, a brass collar in it, and that sits on that. Well, there's a rag that got between the pump and that brass collar, and given overage with a bound, but the next time that it hit, it just enough to spin that by, and then it started again. And they said that they come across that all the time, and I said, I've never, that's the first time other stations ever called it.
There's been kind of a problem before, hasn't it? That's something.
Main plug, right?
We had a main plug up, we figured, the guy that asked that is the guy standing back there, he's the one that come down the back, trucked it out at 7 o'clock that night. Nathan, was that majority of wet wipes that night?
Yeah. You know, wet wipes are safe to flush. Whether they say they are or not, they're not safe to flush. And what happens is, probably right there, I'm assuming there's an old tree growth right there. And a lot of times, even if the tree is gone, the roots were grown through the pipe. One hangs up on it and it causes the rest to hang up and it'll cause a blockage. Majority of these pipes are guaranteed are going to have some kind of roots growing into them, especially your lateral going to your house. But all it takes is one or a low flow a day and the wet wipes will start piling up. So that's what that was. It was all wet wipes, basically, that caused it that night.
We've got a pretty good crowd, past where.
We're on Facebook.
Yeah, we should.
So the other point, Rich, on that was that the service call that the person did was also the preventative maintenance that you talked about in the April meeting.
Yes, I wanted to get on a service, I wanted them to come out. We do not have a lift to pull our pumps. Dane Iowa does not have a big enough lift to pull our pumps because we upgraded. So they don't even pull their own, they have the Sable come out and do it. And Sable come out and did it. And, they went down and checked our dry well to make sure that the backflow things were in there also, that they were also good, because I said, I don't know if anybody's ever been in there and pulled those out or ever checked them. And I would not have known how to do it. And he said that is not something that untrained people should do because of the gas level in there.
Okay, go ahead with the railroad.
Now, the railroad, Troy just went in today and picked up all the signs, so they will be going up in the next couple of days or weeks, whenever we can find time to get them up. And the painting, I got, Steve Johnson's got a painter, he's gonna do the township, and he's gonna do the village ones also. I do not have a price on that yet. I haven't heard anything back on that yet. I was gonna say, I got people checking in on that for me, but I haven't got back yet.
Yeah, so I touched base with our architect and our wastewater operator lead to kind of see where they think, and they gave me some things to look at the well house and kind of take some pictures and everything. And so I sent the pictures off to them for them to take an initial look to figure out what their thoughts are. And I found some concentrated areas of the dust just to figure out what it could be. There is a testing lab across the street from our office that we might reach out to see if they could test the substance, figure out what it is. But I'll let Rich know when I figure out where we hear back from them to see what they think it could be.
There's a cost for that.
This word that we're MSA stuff?
Yeah.
No, I'm not charging them this time.
Okay, that's it for that. Thanks. Thank you very much. Dane Iowa Wastewater Commission. Steve, do you want to?
Yeah, I've got some stuff on that. I attended the Dane Iowa Wastewater Commission meeting on April 17th as the village representative. During the meeting, they did just their normal things, paid normal operating and maintenance bills. They discussed and adopted a change in the policy handbook regarding weekend hours for the employees. Discussed and approved contracts for grit removal in an oxidation ditch. And reported that the flows from Marina was in the normal range. Their next meeting is May 15th, and it's an organizational meeting. And I think it's important that we have a representative for the board and the resident, non-board member representative there. Ray Porter has been the non-board resident representative, and his term has expired at the end of April, and he doesn't want to go back on that commission, so we have to come up with a replacement for him and the village representative, the village board representative.
Ray said he would stay until he got something, right?
He said
Did
he would.
still say that, or did he change his mind?
No,
Okay,
the last I talked to him, he said he would temporarily stay on,
okay,
but he didn't want terms, so.
okay, thank you. All right, old business. Ordinance number 2025-0408, zoning definitions, approved on April 8th, hasn't been posted. This is not me,
I know that it was posted on the bulletin board outside here at the
Okay.
village office, but I don't know, I couldn't find it on the village website. So I don't know, that doesn't mean that it's not there, it's just I didn't find it. So in order for that ordinance to be enacted or to be enforced, then we need to have that posted either in 2 more places or on the village website, is that correct?
I think that is correct. So, do we have that ordinance to be posted? Do we have a physical copy?
It's posted, yeah.
So we can take it down and make copies of
Oh,
it
yeah.
to post it? And how long does it have to post that? How many days?
I don't know
We'll have to verify.
I don't know the classification of posting that's required.
So what is next steps then?
Well, we'll have to investigate.
Yeah, it's done, it's supposed to get it done.
If it's been approved, I think once you post it, it just doesn't go into effect until you've met the posting requirements. So we'll get it posted so that it becomes effective.
Okay, great, thank you, Steve. Okay, report on temporary clerk treasurer.
I can take care of that to begin with. We have Robin Meyer and Susan Strain that are temporary clerks that work part-time. Robin has put in more hours this week than what she intended, but she was, in last week too, actually, she was planning on doing 2 days a week, and our target that we talked about last month was 6 hours a day, roughly, because they have to work around their schedules. But, so that would be 24 hours a week, 4 days a week is what, two for Robin and 2 for Susan. And I think that from an observer that's been somewhat involved with what they're doing, I think they've done a very good job, but it's a huge job. There's a lot to learn, and we'll talk about that more later too. But it doesn't just happen instantly. It takes time, and that's why some of this stuff isn't getting done quite yet. But hopefully it will. Then the next item is Kelly, but we can talk about Terry. But I know that Robin, you had some things that you wanted to talk about, and this is the best time for that.
Okay. As you can imagine, with the office having been closed for quite some time, the amount of voicemails and emails was somewhat overwhelming. Getting back to everyone, I appreciate the patience the residents have shown, because we can write down your name and what you're looking for, but the other catch is finding the information for you. And what we're finding is kind of an overload of information. As we get going, I think we need to look at a record retention policy, because we have records back there from, like boxes or, when I went on the computer, and yesterday was the first day I was able to get on the computer, and that's because of Clifton loss and timing, but, you know, we're seeing things on there from 2002 and everything that, it does two things. One, it makes it harder to find what you're looking for, and it slows down the computer. So I think we need to look at a record retention schedule, and if you're okay with that, the State Historical Society has one, and there's a process for adopting it, and I'll bring that to the next board meeting. I just know you had a lot on today.
All right, thank you.
And I think the bigger thing is, and again, thank you for your patience, utility invoices have not gone out yet, and we have information in there, and we're going to work at getting those out. We're hoping that the board is willing to forego any late fees, because we can't tell when people made payments, if they were on time or late, because they were due on the 20th or 21st, and we didn't post anything till the 30th, so we're hoping that the board is willing to let us forego any late fees for this first month. And then we can adjust the due date on those invoices to give, the PSC requires that we give you 20 days to pay them. So when they go out, you will get 20 days to make payment.
Do we have to do anything regarding those?
Well, there should be a motion, I should have added an agenda item.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
So we can't really address
No,
it
not
now?
really, no. But I would also point out on the billing for the sewer and water bill in April, because there was a flyer that went with it talking about these flushables. They put the address on the flap of the letter and put it in the envelope so it'd show through the window. But it didn't show through the window as good as it could because, well, of the three bills that my wife and I receive for different things that we take care of, two of them didn't come. Ours personally, I came down and got another copy, and I got another copy for the fire commission, because what happened was the city and state didn't show through the envelope. And we got the fire commission bill on the 28th of April. And that's because somebody in Dubuque, Iowa took and folded the little bit piece of paper there that's by the window down and could see the address. So, and I know other people have had that problem. So we definitely want to not charge late fees for those kind of things.
But have to be definitely on the next agenda.
So at this point in time, would the board feel comfortable if we don't charge it now? If you decide it needs to be charged, we'll add it next month? Because
Yeah,
Since it's not on the
it's
agenda.
not on the agenda, we can't really,
You can't.
we can't say.
okay, so let me put it this way. They're going to go out without a late charge, and if you want us to put it on, you'll instruct me next month.
Fair
You
enough.
double up.
Fair enough.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, that's it. Okay, report and possible action on Clifton Lawrence and Allen, LLP consultants for village office. Who's got that?
You want to take that one?
Well, Kelly, what was the last name, Bolden?
Bowman?
Bolin came and worked last week and did a fine job. The problem that we have is because we started our part-time clerks at the same time, there's only one computer and there's not room for more than one person to do anything at one time. Now, we had plenty of work to do because we had all of these old messages and mail and everything we had to go through. But going forward, I'm not sure that we can keep both a part-time clerk and Kelly on at the same time. So just because there are just, things have to be done on the computer and we can't only one person do it at a time.
Can we stagger our schedule?
Well, that's a possibility. I'm just pointing out what the problem is.
I don't offer that because I think that CLA for Carson Allen, they're here to do certain things that maintain and make sure that we're running smoothly in the areas of, accounting and bookkeeping. Plus, probably will need to be training the new person as well, depending on just, what we're supposed to be doing. Everybody has their role to be doing in essence, but I don't know, I guess, Robin,
I will say that this software, Kelly had never used this software before, and she has not done utility billing before. So that's an aspect that the part-time clerks are going to have to pick up. She also informed me when we had cash that through her position, she can't accept cash. So she can't man the office if people are going to come and pay with cash.
yes,
So
I don't think
we
that's
need
her
to
role.
see how that would work, and basically what that would do is if she's going to come down for one day a week, is that the best use of your resources, or would you like to do something different?
I think
That's
it
your
depends on
decision.
what she's doing to make sure that we're set up right and then, so I appreciate that, Robin. But no, I don't think she is not being the clerk as I understand what she's doing. So she wouldn't be manning the counter. She's working on making sure that the reports and the systems are working right, and it's something that, the president will need to sit down with her to find out what her take on what we have, and how useful she feels she is. Because she would know that better.
Is it?
She chose not to come in yesterday and today. She didn't work, so.
You mentioned we have one computer.
And we only have one user license for the software. So only one person can use it at a time. So it does make it difficult when you have limited access to them. And the person then that's on the computer also is at the telephone and the emails and dealing with pretty much.
Are you ready for this wish list? Okay, thank you.
Do you know the cost of the license, Robin?
No, but I can get that
That
for you.
might be useful, just per se.
They've been, I will say that Civic has been very helpful because they have, later on, you're going to look at some proposals for training, but they have been very good about saying, we're not supposed to be doing this, but they have given us some step-by-step to get as far as we are.
And Civic is the payroll system?
Civic is everything accounting. It is your utility billing, it's your payroll, it's your general ledger, it's your financial statements.
That's
That
our
one
system.
program is everything.
Okay. Somebody else have anything? Okay. Report on the status of bank signatory.
We
We moved that
Well,
to,
that's right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, you wouldn't see that.
You were responsible at that point.
You were headed,
Yeah. Good excuse. Report on status of digital forensics court forensic audit.
Well, digital forensics, I've been waiting for a conference call with them for a couple days now, and it's set again for tomorrow at somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But they have not started anything. No, they've been paid, the contract signed, but
And
they
they've
have.
been paid.
They have, but they haven't started anything, and they're not really, fast like I would prefer, so.
But they're coming, right?
I don't know that they're coming, I think they plan on doing it remotely,
As long as it's-
yeah,
Okay. Anything else on that?
that's all I got.
All right, okay. Discussion and possible action on village account access records and building. This is new to me too, so.
Well, the only reason I had left that on there from the past was the building access. We have 3 keys for the clerk's office. We didn't change anything for the main doors or any of the other door codes or anything like that. The electronic code for the clerk's office door is disabled right now, but we can't find a manual to put a new code in. So it's in the office someplace, but we have to find it. So right now, we just have 3 keys that open the door.
The clerk.
Clerk's office door. And that's the main clerk's office door. There is another, which I didn't even know, across the hall, that also has stuff in it for the clerk and some records and things like that, but I didn't even know it was over there, so.
Yeah, there was always all the records in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the safe still in there?
Just send it to the.
Yes.
Okay.
Building access. Who has it?
The 2 temporary clerks that work for us, and also Kelly Boland for the CLA, what is the name of it? Yeah.
CLAs.
Yeah, CLA.
Okay, well, this is a discussion of possible action. How does the board feel for board members with access to Village Hall?
I think people do have a code for the door.
Yeah.
You do have door code, okay.
No, I don't know that everybody does. I didn't get anybody. No.
I'm not talking village office, I'm just talking village hall. Yeah, just the front door. Okay, so we don't have to make a decision on that, right?
Well,
That's,
I don't have it.
you don't have
I
it?
don't have it either.
John's not an issue.
Neither do I, but I'm okay not having it.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna say,
we haven't
don't
been,
see that I need it right now.
Yeah.
Does the board feel we need to make a motion that, okay, I'll just make a motion that all board members have access to the door code to Village Hall,
I second,
if you want it. If you
I
want.
second that.
Okay.
Well,
I can just share the code that I have and the code that wants it.
Okay.
So,
But this is I'd like to make this an action item, since we can, and plus it's on record.
can I,
So,
we have a speaking phone?
yes,
Well, my only concern about having that code, I think it's important that the village trustees have it. And my concern about giving it to only those who are wanting it, in the event that we need that person who doesn't have it to go over and get in there, now presents a problem. The chance that that happens, probably never. So if you don't have it, it will happen. So it's part of your responsibility as a village trustee, is my view on it.
okay, so I have a motion, we have a second, right?
Who
Board
made
like to act on
Who made the motion?
it? I made the motion.
And you seconded?
Would the board like to act on it? We got discussion, let's get more discussion.
May I ask a question with that?
Sure.
We also had it for so long that only the clerks had access, board members, if you came, needed to come to the window rather than in. Could we open that up for some, that if the clerks are there, you can meet with us in the office? And I ask that because we may have some questions coming up. There's one gentleman here that's pretty good with technology that we may want to have a little chat with on occasion. Well, that's access. Access to records, access, account, access records.
Closed, that we opened it up to the clerks, and, but as long as that covers that.
Okay, if you don't feel that that covers it, then can we put it on the next agenda? with
Yeah.
I think it
questions?
does, I think it does.
Yeah.
So I think we're good.
You think that covers building access, and that's part of building?
Yeah, I just needed to ask the question to make sure that
Okay.
it wasn't being overlooked. But
All in your name. And
I can amend it.
office only on clerk's here. Oh.
Nobody else has.
Yeah, I know we can't write it in,
Right.
so.
Yeah. Okay, move to provide the door code to all board members and have access to the village office when the clerks are here.
To clerk's office.
The clerk's office, when the clerk clerks.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? Okay. Would you like to vote on it?
We have one discussion quick.
Okay.
One of the clerks is my mom. Should that, you know, just
A little louder.
the other clerk is my mom, so just conflict of interest, don't know, I just wanted to throw that out there. No, I don't know, I was just, you know,
Being upfront.
full transparency, being upfront.
Yeah,
That's all.
I don't think it's an issue.
Opinion?
I don't think it's conflict of interest, unless he stands to benefit financially or otherwise.
Okay.
Thank you for offering it.
Just transparency, so.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Update and report on village communications to residents. Any update there?
So I guess on my side, as far as the website, I have been in contact with the host of that, and they have given me access to a support portal to get into that, start making changes. I've not been able to actually get into the website yet, though, so I'm still kind of going back and forth with them to get me access, so I understand how to actually get in there and make changes to the website. So supposedly I have access, but I don't know how to get in there and work it quite yet,
Okay.
so that's where we're at with the website.
I have a question about the signs. Like, the sign didn't have anything on 14, but to say, hey, there's a regular board meeting tonight.
I didn't think to have the voice posted.
What's the process for that, and what's the time frame that needs to be, do you know? Because that would be useful for us to all be aware, so we can, you know,
Well, it's not a,
proactively.
it could be put up on Monday, I mean, or the weekend, because it's not an official posting place. for the village.
All right,
For
but it's
the-
more
yeah.
for communicating with the
Right.
residents, so we know what's going on.
It would be nice as clerks, you know, things have not been normal since we've come on board. So, would it be possible, because I believe there was a question about that act committee, you know, that they should be, can we get together like a procedure list so that we as clerks who usually assist the president in doing that, know who to be contacting, where to send them, and what is expected. Because once we get back to the website, legally, it only needs to be the website in one place, but that doesn't mean the board doesn't want to have it in more than just the required places. So can we maybe work on that before the next meeting and then get it on the agenda? Okay.
Are you gonna?
I'll get something started, and then
Okay.
you guys can take in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they'll get send that next email. Yes. Paul, do you still have a villageofmarina.net email or no?
It exists.
Yeah, I don't know if you have access to it.
I don't have access,
Okay. Okay.
but it should still be there.
Right,
No,
okay.
that's-
Right, I can help get
Pardon?
these two set up.
You have 3 or 4 of them.
That's because I've been on and off. Yeah.
See, I can work with our current host to get you guys set up with our .net. I'm also talking with the company that's getting us set up for the .gov website. They are getting us officially set up. They said everything was pretty much done. They just needed to go ahead and continue to do what they were already scheduled to do. So I said, yeah, just go ahead. We want to go that route towards the .gov. And so shortly, hopefully, they will have us set up with .gov for everybody. And then we can transfer all of us from the .net to the .gov
Okay.
emails.
There's expense.
No, so there's no expense.
The VC3?
VC, that's correct, yeah. So I guess there was a grant, so the League of Municipalities is covering the first 2 years.
Okay.
And then the third year, we'll have to pay, but it's just a monthly charge, which is like, it was very reasonable. It was just the cost for basically the licenses per person for the email.
Okay.
There was, if you look at the quote they they gave us, it was like $7,000, but the majority of that, like 5,000 for transferring all the emails over to the DACO website, or the, sorry, the email. And so that's all covered by the league of municipalities. So that wouldn't be our cost, that would be their cost.
Still have a plan though for like the third year,
Yeah.
start budgeting.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we approved
Yeah,
spending for that last year.
yeah, so they're, I think it's on.
Already done, okay. Anything more, an update and report on communication?
What is the status of the Facebook page?
I do not have access to it yet because they require that sign in with the prior trusted device. So once we get it, I can work with you, maybe we can.
You can come in the office there.
Very soon.
Oh, nice.
Just an example of where it's nice to open it up the board.
Yeah.
So I don't yet have access, but hopefully soon we will have access and we can start posting things. As far as that though, how do we want to handle posting things to the village, or the village Facebook page? Who should have access to that?
I'm not on Facebook, so
I think there should be probably more than one person, just because if something were to happen, it's good to have redundancy built in. So I don't know if anybody would be interested in having access.
Would not the clerks have access to that?
Possibly, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Should we have more than, should we have, I guess, I don't know, what's the board's thoughts on multiple board members or the clerk and board member? Any thoughts on that for access?
I don't think that's a bad thing. I do not want to be the one that's assigned it, because I don't think that.
Perhaps whoever ends up being the head of finance technology license.
That's a good idea.
So would you, next meeting, like put that as an action item?
Sounds good, Paul.
Okay, okay. All right, H, discussion and possible action on purchasing video streaming equipment such as Meeting Owl and programs such as report on public notice posting for use in collaboration with live streaming to facilitate transparency, meeting access, engagement, and recording.
For that, but I recommended we get something like a Meeting Owl, which is just like a webcam kind of that 360-degree camera on top, and then it kind of records, and you can also live stream with it. It would just be a way to engage the community a little bit better, so that people that weren't here in the crowd could engage, from their couch. They could, anywhere they have internet connection, they can get in and kind of participate and see what we're doing. I don't know if you wanted to act on that tonight, or what thoughts were, if anybody needs more information on that.
What does everybody out there think of that? Access like that?
So you're saying we'd have, if you wanted to zoom in, you could, if you stayed home?
Right.
You could watch a meeting from your home?
Exactly.
Okay, that would be nice.
Right.
At night, with it being dark,
Yeah.
We're trying to Zoom, but I think maybe that was through Microsoft Teams, so it'd be like whoever Microsoft has, they have their own platform, we just use that, so.
Everybody like that out there?
I think it's a good idea.
As long as it has closed captioning.
It will.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
They provide automatic services.
Yeah.
Do we have to only have one or the other, Zoom or Teams, or we can?
Well, I think with the email, the Teams would come with that, it's kind of like a package deal, so it comes with Word and PowerPoint and the whole suite.
Through the emails, like Microsoft Exchange.
Exactly.
Full suite. So it comes with that license, you get Teams, you get all that stuff.
Right, so anyone, whether they have Microsoft, whatever, Office 365 or whatever it is.
I don't even think you
You
need,
can just go right to that
You,
website.
as long
Pretty sure you
as,
don't need
yeah,
it.
you don't need
I'm just
anything.
saying, you don't have to have it in order to interact on Teams.
No.
Right, okay,
Anybody
just want to
can,
make sure,
anybody
because
can.
a lot of folks.
So like if there's a meeting, you'll send out the meeting and the link to that Zoom meeting will be in the meeting and people will connect that way with the code or something, yep.
We can figure out a way to get the word out there, Facebook page or any other way, Okay, yeah, web page, exactly, so.
So another question, now, did I misspeak when, does that also, will there be loudspeakers in the hall here so that people can hear better?
As part of that device, I think there are speakers, but it's not really meant for that. It's kind of meant for like remote workers. So if you have like a hybrid team, some people in the office, some people at home, they can collaborate. as far as like speakers, you know, I'm not sure how well that would work. I don't think, it's not meant to project out what we're saying, it's meant to record and communicate with whoever's on the other end of that.
Okay, so we would still have to use the system that we have here. Okay.
Right, yeah.
All right. I misspoke before, Jeannie, when I said that. so.
Do you have microphones? Is that the system you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
This is an action item, so does the board want to take action on this?
Is that the same one at the school?
Yeah.
Discount uses? Does it automatically follows, like,
Right.
the sound, whoever's speaking, it kind of,
Yeah.
it's really wide, but it kind of, so if somebody in the, oh, you're speaking, yeah, it'll turn, and-
Catch that?
yeah, it's a full 360 camera, but it kind of just moves to where the speaking is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can make a motion that we purchase a meeting owl for use at, so we should be coordinating the committees as well, but use for official business.
And all the accompanying,
Right, and any kind of official gathering.
well, but I mean,
I'm sorry, official,
unless, with the Zoom and everything, you have to add more than just the owl, right?
Right, we have to have a program.
definitely with the email, that's already been developed.
Okay.
That's a separate thing.
This is just a one.
What is it called?
It's about $1,000.
A year?
No, no, happy.
So that's a one-time fee?
There's no monthly
Okay.
charge, it's just a one-time purchase.
That'd be your check, man.
I mean, I would think that you wait till finance, technology, and licensing meets to discuss technology, but you've got a motion already, so.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Joe, second by Steve to purchase meeting owl for all meetings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
Who were my names?
Motion carried. Okay, report on public notice postings for open book and board review.
All right, the open book is May 15th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that was posted, was posted at the village office, but not on the website. No, that's not the right. Okay, so the open book was rescheduled because we didn't have enough days between the time that we actually got it posted till the, when it could be done. You have to have a 15-day notice. So it was posted at the village office, the coffee shop, post office, and Grandma Mary's. Not on the village website because we didn't have access yet. And we did not publish it in a paper as a class 1 notice because according to statutes, we didn't have to do that. We just posted it in 4, actually 3 places it all needed to be, but we posted it in 4. And the assessor has rescheduled the open book and the board of review, but we will put signs on the door that day so that people that come, because it would be the 8th, which is day after tomorrow, is what was originally the schedule for the board of review, or the open book. We'll put it on there so that they understand that it's not going to be, we're supposed to send out reschedules, but whether he gets it done or not, I'm not confident.
Is that something we should put on the signs on the 14th?
No.
Just asking.
Okay. Anything else on that?
And we'll have training talking about later. So.
Okay. So, now am I right? Next, we will be 11D. Or, sorry, 10D.
Quick question, Matt, you was talking about earlier, they were a few minutes late. We were trying to pull Ace's, I think, P and Q at the beginning. Yeah, I know, just in case they're,
I know.
they are here. They've been sitting there for a while, so.
Okay,
But if we can.
all right.
We tried.
Okay, so we should be doing 10D now, correct? That was in the crowd at that time.
Correct.
Okay, report on status of bank inventory.
So we had bank signatories all set to go, but we will have to review them now with the change in president.
Why are we talking about bank signatories? right
No.
now? Because that should be
I don't know.
under S.
Yeah, that's weird about it. We're on D, D is in dog.
Open clerk.
Yeah,
It was the,
It was the
it was
removal.
this.
It was the, it got moved to,
Oh, yeah. So we go to 11D.
all right, that goes to 11D.
It's about
And all right, thanks for reining me in. 11D. Board discussion and possible action to post a job opening for clerk treasurer position.
Well, I had two thoughts about it. I mean, we need to get it posted, but if we have a personnel committee, would that be the job for them? So that was my thought, but we do need to get one posted sooner than later, so.
Yeah, I would like, okay, these next agenda items here, let's be plain whether we talk about them tonight or we put them off. So, as far as D, is there a consensus? Are we motioning it or what?
My question about it would be, do we have a previous copy of the position description? Because if not, I would recommend to the personnel committee whenever they finally meet to talk with our part-time temporary clerks on what is going to be required for the job.
There is a binder with, that's a personnel binder in there, a policy one. I have not gone through it yet to see if there are job descriptions. So
I'm sure you've been busy with other things.
time has been kind of precious,
So we
so.
motion to refer that to the personnel committee? Or,
Well, personnel handles all personnel.
Yeah.
So we motion to lay it on the table?
Table, get table.
It's a
No
table.
way to go table. Table it. Yeah. If you'd like to.
Or do you just, no
Or we
action?
can no action taken too.
yeah, it says possible action.
Okay, we are not taking action, correct? Okay. Okay, board discussion and action to appoint board of review members, 5 trustees, 2 optional alternates, and determine training. You kind of on this one too?
Well, all I know for sure is that we have to have the board of review members appointed tonight so that they can get the training that they need and be available for the, what did I tell you?
May 28th.
No, yeah, that's right, yeah, so we wouldn't have to necessarily do it tonight. There is, I think it's a total of 3 tapes, and then a booklet and a test that you have to do to get the training, the official training.
So just to clarify, are we talking VHS, cassette, or are we talking?
I haven't, it's probably a
A
disc,
CD.
probably a CD disc, yeah, I should take, but it's,
So most computers don't have CD-ROMs anymore, so that would be difficult to, these don't.
I think that's the only way they do them.
Unless we have, I have a CD-ROM, not hooked up, but it could be jacked into one of these 3 USB. You could potentially export or pull all information off of it into
You
a
could
hard drive.
even play it on a CD player on your television if you wanted.
I don't have a CD.
I mean, PlayStation, Xbox.
You guys should be more old school. Some of
I have a
them.
VHS player, so, and a record player.
I don't know, I think I probably got an 8-track someplace.
VHS player.
But we only need one person that's
To do the trade.
Legally, it's only.
legally only one.
Yeah. But, and the clerk has to be trained.
How many people have to be present?
Five trustees.
And then your 2 alternates are in case somebody comes in and they say, I don't think he should be, you need an alternate to sit in for somebody that gets released due to a conflict.
So it's all of us then. That's 7 people.
Well, the alternates don't have to be there until somebody
Be
says,
on call.
they just have to be available.
So I would more like to take action on this because there is training.
Anything else for the testing? Testing is a lot. It doesn't mention to you.
You don't even have to pass.
And they give you the answers to it.
Yeah, you don't even have to pass, all you have to do is run.
I took the test already, it's not tough.
Okay. So again, would you more like to take action on this? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that I will take the training. Is that the motion I'm making for the board of trustees?
Yeah, all volunteers.
I think that we should get volunteers first. if
Yes,
they-
all volunteers. Okay.
The agenda item specifically says to appoint people to the board of review. It doesn't say who's going to do the training.
But
Okay, good. I was in.
I will volunteer to be on the board of review, and I will take the training. So, and
I will volunteer to be on the board of review.
Volunteer.
Okay, so then we'll do the appointing after everybody's volunteered, how's that?
Sounds good. Then we can do a big
Appoint
motion.
volunteers.
So we have Ted,
I'll do both.
Dr. Raven, myself,
I'll volunteer.
Steve, and Matthew. Okay,
and I do have the rest of the training material ordered, so we should get it shortly, so.
okay. So,
And then your alternates would be the other 2.
Don and Joe is the alternate.
That's the
They have no
important.
choice.
Okay, so it's more like me to appoint, make motion to appoint.
Yes, I love it, Paul.
Okay, okay, I move to appoint Paul Christina, Becca Raven, Uminowitz, Matthew Schrader, Ted Strang, and Steve Wilkinson to the Board of Review, and Joe Hipsky and Don Help as alternates.
I'll say.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Board discussion and possible action to appoint village board representative to the Dana, Iowa wastewater district. Since our meeting is the 15th, right? Or no?
It is the 15th.
It is the 15th. This should probably be acted on tonight. That I'm familiar with, I did sit on the Dana, Iowa wastewater commission before. It's a meeting the 3rd Thursday of every month. And
Sounds like you're volunteering yourself, Paul.
I'm just providing information.
Here you go, so.
To try to describe what it is, okay? It's at,
I made a motion to appoint Paul as village board's representative to the Dana, Iowa wastewater district commission.
we have a motion
You're going anywhere.
by Matthew.
And seconded.
Do we have a second?
I got rid of him.
Discussion.
Enjoy.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Okay. And this one actually, board discussion possible action to appoint a citizen member to the Dana, Iowa wastewater district commission.
He left.
He left.
He would have been some.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
You can just,
You could appoint him and he could always decline.
contingent upon.
Well, we don't have to act on that tonight. I mean, they can
Right.
go a meeting without that. You could wait until.
They said possibly
Contact him
bring
first.
Joe one more
Yeah.
time.
So what was the board like, no action taken on this item then?
Or we could have Ray
Okay.
represent us one more time, if you will.
Okay. Would you like to make that motion?
I will. I'll make a motion that we ask Ray Porter to represent as the village, as a village resident member of the commission for the May meeting.
I'll second
We have
that.
a second. Okay, we have
May
a,
meeting of the Dane, Iowa wastewater commission.
okay, we have a motion to appoint Ray Porter as the village representative for the May meeting of the Dane Iowa Wastewater Commission, and a second further discussion.
Is it possible, I mean, it wouldn't be a part of this motion, but I think it'd be great if someone reached out to me and asked me to be on member, you know, not just to let that
Oh, okay.
go. That would be awesome, because he certainly has the knowledge and he's interested, so let's get him engaged. Great.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, motion carries. Okay, board discussion and possible action to authorize access to local government investment pool.
Fire
Did I?
and
Excuse me. I'll swear, sorry. Board discussion and possible action to appoint village representative to Fire EMS District Commission. Any discussion, any
That's for the fire board
for the fire board?
with Dave and Bill.
Yep. And,
I'd point out that we're going to be talking about an ordinance here in a little while that says that if we adopt it, that the chairman of the police, public safety, whatever, police commission is what it actually is. It would be the representative, and I would voice a strong opposition to that. I think that person that represents the village board on the Fire EMS Commission should be a village board member so that we get direct access from the meetings, and especially because of the tax budgeting things that they do, we want to have a good communication with that.
But wouldn't we have that just with the other person, who knows their responsibilities or report?
Are they going to come every month and
If
report?
the representative on the Fire and EMS Commission, that's their responsibility to come report on that agenda item.
we,
Well, it doesn't say that in the ordinance.
yeah, there
Should be
is
a board now.
motion, or Nancy, you have an opinion, please?
Lots of opinions, Paul. So, our current ordinance, as it's written, states that we'll appoint one member of the board.
No, it doesn't say member of the board.
It says one member, so under this, the way it's being written, I would argue it's meaning one member of the board.
You're talking about the current ordinance.
Current, yes.
Yeah.
But there's a,
Any
there's the fire agreement, there's the
The
commission
agreement,
agreement that
the-
says member, village arena member.
Right, it doesn't specify a board member, but
So-
that's different.
But we have to follow that as well.
No, well, it would be if you had a board member be the commissioner, then you would have followed that.
Well, but it doesn't say it has to be a board member.
No, but what Matthew is saying is that the village ordinance says that.
I mean, I'm saying, it says right here, the village of Arena shall appoint one member who shall be appointed by the president and confirmed by the village board. Does it say one resident? No, it doesn't. It says one member. So I'm guessing that it was intended that that was meant, it should be one member of the board. However, it could be interpreted multiple different ways.
It's a little vague.
Would we like to, no action taken until this decided, until we make a decision down here, a couple more items down?
Steve, were you saying that the person that's the representative there is also the chair of the public safety?
No, it's just the opposite way. The chair of
Fire.
the police commission or
Public-
public
Yeah.
safety committee, whatever you want to call it, they call it both in this new ordinance, would be the representative to the fire EMS commission.
Yeah, we don't want to force that, I wouldn't think.
I don't want to.
Yeah. If anybody else wants to do a motion, I have some fire, I would volunteer that position if, just because I have some fire in this background. I don't know if anybody else does or wants any other discussion or motion or volunteer themselves, but I don't have as much as Steve.
Well, I can't though.
No, Steve.
Yeah, because you were director, so you can't be, yep.
Well, what does the board feel on this item?
So what is your current role with, you drive, is that right?
I currently am not on the department.
Okay, not at all.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Haven't been in a few years, just
Sure.
have had EMS and fire here in town and fire in Mason. So 7, 8, I mean, not a long time. It's a breaks in between, but, so not a lot of experience, but familiar with the station and the fire chief. So I know some people, but that's all.
When is the next meeting?
It would be June 5th, I think, is the first Thursday of the month. I think that's June 5th.
In about a month, yeah, we just had a meeting a few days ago.
And, you know, it's not critical that you pick somebody tonight either.
Yeah.
No action taken, how the board feel? So we're going
I
to,
think no action taken. I think there needs to be more discussion about these positions, who's filling these positions. So I would mention for no action.
Kathy?
I will defer to whatever the board decides.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's next after you.
Go ahead.
Okay?
I just said I'd volunteer if somebody else wanted to, in a second, but
Sounds like a volunteer.
would definitely, because of the history and everything, if there wants to be more discussion, I'm totally okay with that. It's not-
You're free to make a motion.
It's not urgent because it's a month away. It's not, some of the other things are like, we need somebody this week. So-
Anybody's free to make a motion, or we can no action taken. If they're not going to, nobody's going to make a motion. It's up, you as individuals, you can make a motion. If there's nobody going to make a motion, then there'll be no action taken.
You didn't make a motion. 10 made a motion.
Okay. There are no motions? Okay, no action taken.
He just volunteered.
Okay. Okay, now, board discussion and possible action to authorize access to local government investment pool.
In order for us to get the 2 new temporary clerks to have access to the LGIP, we need to have the board approve it. And I need to have draft minutes that I can send down there, or to have Paul as president sign a letter stating that the board has approved putting these 2 temporary clerks, 2 clerks, for their purposes, we're clerks, whether we're temporary or not, to have access to do 2 things. One, transfer, if you need to transfer funds from LGIP to the bank account, and to access, to get bank statements. Because LGIP statements are kind of If you can go online and get them, they're usually ready about now, but if you have to wait for them to come in the mail, they're gonna come about mid-month. So by giving us access, we can log on, print out the statements. We won't transfer without board approving the transfers. So we're just asking for you to say that.
Does that cost?
Both of
something?
us. No, it's a bank account. What you're doing is giving us access to bank accounts. The local government, for those of you that don't know, the local government investment pool is a state organization which all state departments are required to use, and they began making it available to municipalities. The interest rate on it has been, I think last month was 4.35%, and it's accessible within a day. So it's basically like a nice money market with a better rate than you're gonna get most places.
But we don't have any money in it right now.
Yes, you do.
Well, we do have.
We have money in it.
You know how much?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I was gonna say, sounds like you need this.
I was gonna make a motion to give permission to our two part-time clerks access to the local government investment pool.
I second.
Motion by Matthew, second by Don, to give all part-time clerks access to the local government investment pool. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Board discussion and possible action to authorize access to Wisconsin retirement plan reporting.
Same thing. We need it in order to do what we need to do.
I make a motion to give our part-time or temporary clerks access.
To give both clerks, part-time clerks action, or sorry, access to Wisconsin retirement plan reporting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I said aye. Okay. K, board discussion and possible action to authorize village clerk treasurer credit card.
Deneen did cancel her card when she left. I'm not sure what it's used for, except for if you have to order things online on occasionally. I know I've seen Amazon purchases coming through. We need a credit card to be able to purchase.
I motion to give our temporary clerks authorization for authorization for our village clerk treasury credit card. And that's done through our bank, correct?
Do you know if there's a limit?
I do not know, but you can keep it the same limit as previous, and they can always be adjusted. I mean, the bank can change your credit limit with a phone call, it's just to get the process started.
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Becca Raven, second by Joe, to authorize the part-time village clerk to treasurer to get a credit card. Is that correct? I just said that right? All those in favor?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Discussion?
Discussion, I'm sorry.
When I talked with the bank, Derek Tranel, I think his last name is, we talked about whether we should have a credit card that just was village clerk, or if we should have it in one or the other's name, so that it specifically showed which one was on it. Otherwise, and he thought security-wise, we were better off to have it in one person's name rather than just say village clerk.
But how was that with temporary?
Both their names or just one name?
Just one. You know, pick Robin, for instance, it would be in her name, and then she would have to make purchases on the credit card.
How do you feel about that, Robin?
We're gonna have to take the different duties, and we're gonna have to do them differently anyhow, so it doesn't matter. You know, I'm comfortable with it if, yeah.
Okay.
Do we have to change the motion?
Should you amend the
No.
motion?
I don't think you have to change it, do you?
Just one.
Well, I guess,
Yeah.
read it back to make sure.
This was to authorize the temporary clerks, oops, I'm on this wrong one, I haven't gotten to this one yet.
Well,
Okay. Authorize the temporary clerks to get a village clerk treasurer credit card.
So,
Because it was part of clerks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So amend the motion, is that what I say? To authorize Robin as the temporary clerk treasurer to have a bank credit card issued in her name for the village. Yes.
Second.
So on that point, is there a reason why we only have one, to not have two, or is there a reason why we're doing?
Well, because they're temporary, you know, you get two, but we're gonna end up,
We have to change it anyway, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So far, Susie and I have been working well together. I don't see it as a problem.
Okay, so we have a motion by Becca Raven, an amended motion by Becca Raven, as seconded by Dawn, to authorize Robin to get a credit card. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, motion carried.
The second done, or Joe?
It was done.
He seconded the amended motion, Dawn.
Just got it straight.
Okay, board discussion, possible action to authorize village clerk treasurer training on civic payroll system.
That you have a handout for. He provided two different quotes. First, he said, oh, you just need training on the utility software? And I said, no. We really need to do payroll. There's time reporting software, and then it imports into the payroll software. We have to learn how to take and move your utility software into the general ledger. There's multiple cash accounts that have to balance out. So in order to get the processes right, there's going to need to be training. What he told me is he quoted what they find as, like, for utility, he put down 16 hours. And I said, oh, that seems kind of high. He says, well, have you ever done utility billing before? I said, yes, but not with this software. Oh, he said, we'll only charge you for the hours you use. So if you've got experience with it, you won't use them. That being said, when Susie and I get trained and are doing it, we would hope that we can train your new person. But if not, they will use whatever we haven't used to train your permanent clerk.
So it's kind of like a pool of training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will charge us for what we use only.
I'll make a motion to approve the temporary village clerk treasurer PERS for up to $5,100 for training in the civic payrolls, or the civic systems.
I second that.
We have a motion by Matthew, a second by Becca Raven to authorize the village clerk plural training on the civic payroll system.
Just the civic accounting system.
Civic payroll.
Yeah, well, let's use civic accounting
Okay,
because it's
civic
everything.
accounting. Okay.
If that's what they were doing.
Discussion?
It's needed.
Oh, it's definitely needed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see, agenda item M, ordinance 2025-0506, an ordinance to amend section 2.10.020 and 2.10.090 and repeal and replace section 2.10.040 in chapter 2.325 of the municipal code of the village of Arena, Iowa County, Wisconsin, relating to the organization of village government. Who would like to start?
Well, I was going to ask how many people actually got a chance to read it.
I did get a chance to read it, and I would say that we cannot take action on this based on current village ordinances. There are multiple subject matters taken up in this proposed ordinance, according to 2.10.150. All ordinances and bylaws submitted by the board shall be in writing and shall include at least on the outset a brief statement on the subject matter in the title and shall be referred to the appropriate committee by the president. The committee shall report back to the board on the matter at the next board meeting. That's one point. The next point would be, each ordinance shall be related to no more than one subject. Amendment or repeal of ordinances shall only be accomplished if the amending or repealing ordinances contain the number and the title of the ordinances to be amended. There is more than one subject in this proposed ordinance to be amended or repealed. Additionally, ordinances will be placed on the agenda for board action only if they're submitted to the village clerk in writing form a minimum of 5 days prior to the meeting. I can't tell you if that was done or not. We got it.
We did it, but the clerk didn't.
The clerk didn't have it. I read through it too, and I'm not comfortable with it. For the reasons Matthew pointed out, and then also as far as
What number?
2.10.15.
as far as right now as it stands, the village president and ex officio of each committee. This new one gives the village president voting power on each committee and is a member of each committee. And personally, I would attend the meetings anyway, but I'm thinking future years down the road, will the village president want to be attending all of those committee meetings? That's a lot. And also, we need to gauge, I feel we need to gauge citizen interest in serving before adopting something like this. And then my third and final point is, we have a village attorney, and the village attorney needs to peruse this and offer an opinion on this. That hasn't been done. And I guess I will make one more, my fourth point is that by doing this, it does not give an opportunity for anyone else on the board or anybody else in the community to come up with an alternate plan. Because it's part of our transparency and openness, I believe the board needs to look at more than one option. So, Tom, Joe, Ted, Steve, opinions. This is, yeah, we need opinions from everybody.
Yeah, I haven't been able to read all of it, been perusing it right now, but it seems like too much to act on right now. It's like you said, go through different committees like Matthew said, or certain stuff like that, instead of actually be gone through.
I mean, I really think we need to be reviewing our ordinances. I mean, even for, for setting up committees, our current ordinances say that has to be done at the April meeting. I mean, there's discrepancies in it that need to be gone through. Matthew's pointing out that this needs to be broken out into separate ordinances. Okay, so, that's something that can be done and presented with the 5 days to the clerk to, I think we need to seriously review all this. I don't agree with you, Paul, about gauging the residents. I think the residents have been terribly conditioned to just stay out of the business of the village. And we need to be, in our quest to be transparent, showing that we're throwing the doors open to go, we are transparent, we need you. We want to give you this, the opportunity to be on these seats. I don't agree with you, Steve, about that a village board member is more beholden to reporting to the
They're
board.
elected, they're elected.
More beholding to reporting to the board than someone who takes their volunteer committee work seriously to come and represent at those, at the village board meeting. I think that we are approaching an opportunity to make some solid, proactive, transparent, community-minded, village resident involvement-driven actions by what we've always done or what was accepted. Or, I hear it all the time, well, no one's going to get involved. Well, we have, I think it's a matter of how, I think about when I first met you, Paul, where we were in engaging. You know, what happened when we showed an interest in similar things about for this village? Things started to move. I think the more we can engage folks to be on a committee, to be represented, to be held to a higher standard of commitment is how we create a much more engaged and knowledgeable and functioning, thriving village. I just would hate us to keep that door, it's like we opened up the big door, but the screen door is still locked. You can look in, but we don't think you have the skills to represent. I just think it does a disservice. I really want us to think seriously about this. We have an opportunity to establish what we feel, what many of us feel is, we need the village residents involved.
Well, I don't think anybody's saying that that's a bad thing, Dr. Raven. They're saying that we should review this and make it acceptable.
I agree with some of the things that have been written in here about changes that need to be made. And I appreciate whoever did all the comprehensive work on it. It's still something that I think that, given that we have 2 new board members, they need more time to process this. And if and when any changes are made, because I do believe that ordinances do need to be updated and the way that we've done business as a board in the past, whether any of us were involved in that or not, needs to be much more transparent. And we need community participation, but that doesn't automatically default to what is put into this document.
This is a starting point. I agree with
Comment
that.
from the new board member.
No, I totally agree, like, community, transparency, all just not act on this right now, because I need more time to read through it, and like, reading a few of these things, like Matthew said, you know, a few things need to be adjusted and just gone through, so.
Joe?
Yeah, I would agree with like, most things that have been said. I think that we don't cross it. I think there's some good points, but I think just based on what Matthew said, we can't take out action on it tonight. We just, I don't know if we would table it and then revisit it, or thoughts on that?
So,
We definitely need to go over with a fine tooth comb, and I agree 100% with Dr. Raven. We've got to have community involvement. And we cannot shut that door even a little bit. We've got a new board in here now, and I'm tired of hearing about what the old board did, the way it was in the past. That's the past, this is a whole new board. I want this village totally involved. And when they're on committees with us board members, their say should have some weight to it. That's why we're looking for village members to be on those committees with us. Not to have them just give their opinion and just tune them out. That's not the way it works. I want everybody to have an equal voice.
how does everybody feel about the village attorney looking at?
Should that be the first step, or should we kind
I
of,
feel like where's the egg and the chicken?
should we kind of, as board members, kind of sit through it first, and then decide if we want to go after it, and then take that to the attorney, before we just give them a packet?
Yeah, and, I mean, that's one of the things that I spoke at public comment a lot during the past year, passing ordinance, wasn't looked at by the village attorney. That was the first question I asked. Does it pay a village attorney for? And I also feel the village is due for a recodification. We did one, I can't remember how many years ago, and there hasn't been one done since. We have the village ordinances online, and we have a book in the village office that had a disclaimer on it that this is your general lookup, but if you really wanted to get the village ordinances, you have to go online, which is what communities do nowadays. It's not that way now. And we need to get back to that.
The village is not that way.
The village is not that way now. And we need to get back to that, so.
Codification, is that going over all of our ordinances?
Everything.
Okay, I just never heard that term.
Yeah, recodification.
My concern is we're gonna need to appoint people to committees. And I'm worried that this need, or I feel that the committees need to, the ordinances for the committees need to be reviewed before we're, moving on. And yet, I mean, I think these things need to happen somehow together. I wonder, and some of you know better than me, I mean, I just keep we need an ordinance committee to be driving this. And maybe that's a first step, that we need to get that in place so that we follow the proper procedures of ordinances, of setting this up. But
Well, the village board can appoint a committee anytime to do any task that they need to do. So you could appoint a committee to deal with this ordinance.
I'd like to make a motion for us to appoint a committee, an ordinance committee to start working on this piece so that we can actually break it out and see what each thing is and deliver it properly. Exercise how we're supposed to be recommending ordinance changes of the ordinances.
So is your motion to appoint a committee to look at this specifically, or you also said look at other ordinances?
I think, yes. This is the ordinance at hand, or the many ordinances at hand, if from what, I'm understanding from you have to do these separately. But we will have then established an ordinance committee that all the other committees will work with as things need to be
Not
revised.
necessarily, this could be just a temporary committee, and then when you get this ordinance ironed out, then you can go ahead and enlist an ordinance committee that has citizens that are not on the board on it.
Or do we, if everyone looks ahead to M, we need M.
What about it? Oh,
For the special
Just at the
committee
special
meetings, to discuss all of this, the special committee meeting.
But
Yeah.
it has to do with citizen participation and reorganizing, and
Right.
that's all in that ordinance. If we don't get that straightened out
We need to
first,
get this straightened out. Okay, so I guess my motion is to create an ordinance committee to address this ordinance. To be able to utilize the parts that are decided on. I mean, I think that's what you were saying?
well,
Because-
I'm not saying, I'm just suggesting that that could happen.
You're making the motion.
That we should have an ordinance committee. Do we currently have an ordinance committee?
No.
So, I make a motion to create an ordinance committee that has resident participants on it for us to move forward. Now you're gonna go, I can't do that because we don't have an ordinance for that committee yet, right?
The board can make a committee of anybody they want.
Where does it say in the ordinances that the board can make a committee without changing the ordinances?
It's just an ad hoc committee. It's
Ad hoc committees are determined by the president,
Yeah.
Well,
but not by the board.
okay, the president can, all right.
So that was all the motion, it comes from the president. A motion to encourage the village president.
Or it could be a committee of the whole, the whole board.
Okay, I'm gonna word it, and I want them to, okay? Okay, I appoint the whole Marina Village Board as a committee to review ordinance 2025-0506. Would you like me to read the whole thing again, or just that part? Okay, an ordinance to amend sections 2.10.020 and 2.10.090 and repeal and replace section 2.10.040 and chapter 2.325 of the municipal code of the village of Arena, Iowa County, Wisconsin, relating to the organization of village government.
Do we have to do anything? Because you've appointed.
Fine, is any last remark? Okay. Everybody's appointed. Okay. M.
Well, before you know,
Okay.
what are we gonna do with that?
Pardon?
What are we gonna do with that? We're gonna meet, or?
Yeah, we're gonna have to schedule a meeting. We need, we need, because it basically, it's gonna have to be put on organizational meetings, basically, what we're gonna have to solve. And when can we meet? Next week, 2 weeks?
Is this for number N that you're looking at? Or is that just to meet with the ordinance committee?
Is this one still on there?
Yeah, we're still on.
You're still on them?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's great. For the next couple of weeks, there's another day for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the release.
Everyone start off with their week with a meeting like this, Monday, on Monday,
Next, this whole, next Monday?
Difference to me.
Don,
I'm open.
you,
Yeah, but before we meet, do we want to send it to the attorney?
The whole thing, or?
so, yeah, I would like action on that. I appointed the board as a committee. Now, we can take action. They might have a motion to make.
So then I motion to send the entire ordinance 2025-0506 to our village attorney for review and opinion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Dr. Raven, second by Ted, to send the ordinance 2025-0506 to the village attorney for an opinion. Further discussion.
This before our ordinance committee that you just assigned, is it, do we give it to him first?
It
Or
could be,
or
yeah.
our committee meet first and then let him go over it?
Him first. It can be sent to him tomorrow.
Are we going to come up against the fact that our ordinance, as per what Matthew was pointing out, said that we have to have this divided out?
Well,
Is that going to be?
I'm sure he'll have opinions on that.
Yeah.
So that'll all be wrapped in, we don't have to do something before that?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, either way, the attorney's gonna go over with a fine tooth comb, whether we go over it first or whether he goes over it first. And he's gonna go over it either way.
And then give it
Yeah.
guidance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, was there,
We're still discussion. Matthew, discussion? Ted? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have a name, Matthew, a name.
sometimes giving people time to think and answer.
Yeah, we ended the discussion, so.
I know, but when we go to vote and it's ayes and then nays, it's just good to take the, I just say I went through a whole year of, ayes, nays, okay, and I'm like, I haven't even taken a breath to answer. So, thank you.
Then, board discussion, possible action on standing committees. citizen participation, reorganization timeline. Setting a special meeting in May to appoint membership of standing committees, remaining statutory boards, commissions, and vacancies.
You know, we have to read on
Existing committees, that way action can be taken that is necessary for the. Yeah.
I agree. Fill it in the format it currently is, and then after this is going through, we can do whatever we decide at that
I
time.
mean, if this were to pass, it removes everyone from the committees that are there, including the boards and commissions, so.
Right.
So we start at zero anyway.
Yeah.
But we just need people right now to.
It's gonna take time to work through that.
Yep. So, special meeting in May.
This is noticed well enough that you could take action on tonight. We wouldn't have a problem with that as media. It's noticed well enough to board discussion and possible action on standing committees. The citizen participation and reorganization timeline isn't limiting language.
So you're saying and, we can do and.
I'm saying we wouldn't have a problem with it. We feel like we've been noticed enough for you guys to take action on appointing to committees. Plus, it's an internal thing right now anyway, so
That's all for me.
it's
So
all
we wouldn't
internal.
have to wait till May, we can
No.
do that tonight. I think that guidance still refers to you then, Paul, as the village president.
And Paul, I will say too, with how the ordinances are written right now, you are automatically a voting and quorum contributing member of every committee as village president. Ex officio means you are automatically on it. The concern is, the ordinance says you are automatically on it, and it also says there shall be 3 members of the committee. So that's something you might want to talk to the village attorney about, of whether that means that there's 4, or it means that there's 2 plus you. But ex officio doesn't mean non-voting and non-quorum contributing.
The president's never voted on committee.
Okay, that's just Robert's rules, so.
So it was misinterpreted.
But I would imagine it's Paul and then 3 committee members.
But you don't want to do that because you put quorum.
Yep.
You don't want quorum in the committee.
Yeah, so.
Well, I agree, but that's how it's written.
Okay, on board discussion, possible action on standing committees. Now, we've got, personally, I'd like to have an organizational meeting. Not decide this tonight.
I agree.
That makes a lot more sense.
Matthew, your answer? Everybody answered except you're quiet.
There is a vote, I don't need to answer.
Okay. Okay. Okay, a meeting in May. When can we meet?
I can do next Monday.
Monday 12th.
Official date. 12.
So we'd be going over the ordinance, if we got it back in, the board. That same meeting?
Well, this agenda item is specifically for organizational committees.
Yep, would be just an organizational meeting.
Okay.
For this,
Or committees.
Yeah.
It's on for the committees.
Yep.
yeah, 6 o'clock.
Okay, what's the date next Monday?
12.
12? Okay, is there a time?
6 would be better than 7. Okay.
9 p.m. would be better for me.
9?
Yeah.
PM?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you said Monday, so
Yep.
6 o'clock?
That's what is decided. I will do everything I can to be there.
Okay.
Well, how about 6:30?
Yeah, that sounds. 6:30 be better?
Yeah.
All 6 ladies, is that what we do that?
Like to have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second?
I'll say.
We have a motion by Steve, a second by Joe, to have a meeting on action on standing committees next Monday, the 12th, at 6:30 PM. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, motion carries. Okay. Oh, board discussion and possible action on Diggers Hotline annual meeting and proxy.
That was in your packet.
I've been to these before, it's just a big, it's just a lunch and presentation.
Why it lets you guys decide if someone wants to go or not.
What is the biggest hotline?
You're gonna have to take them.
If you're digging, call the number and all the corresponding companies send their people to paint up your grass.
And they do up
Flags.
all the flags and
Yep.
things. Okay.
So depending on where you are, they will notify the companies that have utilities in their property or the scope of work.
I have used them, didn't really know they were calling biggest hotline.
I used to mark and work for a lot of communication companies, so I'm done with that.
Okay, would
What
anybody
did you
like,
have done?
A lot.
would anybody like to,
What day is it?
21st.
I don't know, what day though? Not what day.
Wednesday,
Is it Wednesday?
in New
Sorry,
Berlin,
I just.
in New Berlin.
Do we have to attend?
That's what the proxy is for. You're supposed to give them permission to vote for you. The only trouble, with any of these proxy things is that I never know who, anybody that's running for anything, so.
Right.
And then one won't swing up one way or the other.
No, there's 1,000 people there.
There a
Motion
motion?
pass on.
Pardon?
Motion pass on.
No action taken? Okay, no action taken. Okay, P, board discussion, possible action on original Class B fermented malt beverage license to Ace's Home Talent, Agent Nicholas Larson from May 18th, 2025, November 18th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at the Arena Community Park concession stand.
Tried to move you up earlier.
Yeah, it's all right.
I haven't seen it.
You want to come up here?
Do we have an application?
Yeah, we
Please.
don't have anything.
Did you submit an application?
So it is not submitted because it was at the time when the turnover was. So when the village was locked, I think Deb talked to Steve and we didn't really know how to go about it to get the right paperwork. I have a server's license for Grandma Mary's, doing with them up there because I help them with their catering. I had it last 2 years through Home Talent, 18 games. I believe it's, think about this now, 6 on a Sunday, maybe 1 on Monday for Memorial Day, and then the other ones would be on a Thursday night. Thursday nights from 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Probably, not exaggerating, we probably serve 30 people beers. It's not a huge number. And by beers, I mean 2 beers watching a game. So,
Do we have to?
I can do the paperwork, absolutely.
Do we have to post that or publish it though, for liquor, any liquor license? I think.
I think it did have to sit previous years for 3 days, I think.
All right, can I do some research on that until the 12th,
Yeah,
Monday?
so, yeah, we're,
Could we take it up at the Monday special meeting?
If you want to change the special meeting and put it on the agenda.
Because we totally understand
Right.
disrupted
No, that's fine.
office
And
not being able to get something.
the reason I drag my feet is because we don't get a set schedule until our April meeting.
I just don't want you to feel,
No,
you
it's-
know, like you did something
Right.
wrong, when we're doing the best we
So it'd
can.
be two
Sorry,
games,
no.
that, this would affect, May would be 2 games, the 18th and Memorial Day Monday. That's the only time we'd be using it in May.
Did you have a license till last year?
Yes, last 2 years.
I think they go until June. don't
But I think
they?
it's only 6 months on these for the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ends in.
Oh,
See, I have a
it's a
license.
6-month license, not an annual
Yeah,
license.
for this type of thing. My annual at Aaron Mary's is just for that premises, so.
Okay. We haven't looked at liquor licenses
That's
yet.
fine, I'm sure you
Coming
guys
up.
have things to
Well, the question is, can we approve this without the application?
Probably
You
not.
could, how's everybody feel about contingent?
Once it gets posted, I thought we
Yeah.
would approve this for.
I don't think it had to get posted, I think it had to sit at the clerk's office for it, if I remember right. I had to have it in 3 days.
Because it's not a annual one,
Yeah.
I know the annual ones have to be published or posted so people get a chance to say yay or nay if they have a problem. But these
Yeah.
temporary ones might not have
Yeah, I
that.
don't think, yeah, I don't think it was because of that, it was, because I did get it dropped on me that I had paperwork filled out 2 years ago, and the cop brought it back to me and said I didn't have done early enough, I wouldn't have it, so. But I think it was 24 or 36 hours maybe, it was a number, odd number, I don't know why, but there's a reason for it, I guess.
I can look it up after the meeting just to see what the requirements
How about,
are.
how does board feel or how, think about putting a contingent upon handing in the application?
For the number of days that we find out you have to have it in before it's voted on, or whatever. Okay.
As much as go ahead.
Okay.
So as much as I like Nick, we wouldn't, yeah, I do. And I support hometown baseball one way or another. I don't personally think we could take action without an application because we wouldn't probably make the same consideration for anyone else.
Yes, I'll probably do it once, open the door to do it for everybody, so.
So
What's
can
it take
we,
to get put on the agenda Monday?
yeah, can we add them to the agenda on Monday?
Organizational, just have a,
I guess that depends on whoever sets up the agenda for Monday.
Well,
Okay, so not a motion
we're meeting
then.
as a committee of the board, and not, I don't know how that legally works.
Monday isn't a committee of the board,
No, no,
that's
we're
the
just
assigned
meeting,
committee.
it's just a big special meeting to
Yeah, it's
assign
not a board
committee,
meeting,
it's
it's a
not the
committee meeting.
appointed committee.
It's your
That's the
organization.
ordinance.
Do you have anything for the 18th?
That's the 12th would be the soonest that you've already designated. I think that.
I can do a regular special meeting for 15 minutes, close that meeting, then open the,
I think it's just added.
there's gotta be a way to work around it. So I
What's
think-
the requirement for calling a meeting? Does it need to have, can the president call or does he need to have two?
Two trustees call us
So
at
two trustees say,
Then we
At the
pay for it,
beginning or
or
end
what?
of that.
Is it a special meeting?
No, no.
Whatever you call a special board meeting, with two trustees interested in calling a special board meeting at 6:15 on Monday.
Like, wouldn't it just be a party?
No, because
No.
You could just add it to that one. And you'd have to make a motion to do it though, because a special meeting can only be held for the purpose that
Of that
it states.
special meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could just add it.
But it's not technically a board meeting either, right? It's a committee meeting?
No, it's a board meeting.
So,
Just motion to,
I make a
yeah.
motion.
We'll make a motion, okay, go ahead.
No, you probably have a better idea of what we're saying, but let's just do that, add it to it. So I make a motion to add a second item to the special meeting of May 12th to include board discussion and possible action on the original Class B fermented malt beverage license to Ace's Hometown. Agent Nick Larson from May 18, 2025 to November 18, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at the Arena Community Park concession stand.
Okay, we have a motion by Becca Raven, do you have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I mean, yeah, if you can get that application in ASAP.
Well, yeah, when is she gonna have time to get it, would you?
Susie is here tomorrow.
We have to find it first.
Yeah.
I will do that before I go home tonight.
All those in favor?
No, we don't.
Hey, I don't go to bed till 11 or 1. Yeah. We're good.
All right,
She's
so,
going to Seattle at the end of the week, she can rest on that.
so does Nick know Albany needs to be getting in? Or does he have to wait to hear from
Are
us?
the applications online, do you know? I only asked
I've never
because they
had it
want
online, I've always filled out.
Okay.
I'm not very text copies.
We will, well, I didn't know if you could just print out a blank one.
I just was curious if you could go in and see in the file from last year and then see what the file is named, because I don't even remember what it's called.
Boy, that could be kind of tricky, because
Yeah.
we're
Well, there's-
doing some look,
There's
yeah,
quite a few
yeah, you have it.
alcohol license
Yeah.
ones, rooms of boxes.
We'll get it to you.
There's something online.
No, he'll have to come in and fill it
Yeah.
out.
There's a Form 8200, is that what you're looking at? Alcohol beverage license application.
Temporary, is that's the difference.
That's the
It's
operation.
either called temporary or 6 month, I can't remember how.
220 is the temporary.
Well, and these forms are actually state forms.
Yeah, they're state forms.
Yeah, they're state forms, so we can get them online.
I think there's 3 pages.
That's a cigarette.
Yeah.
Celebration?
Can't see that.
There's a lot of instructions, I think, to it.
Retro glasses.
Temporary alcohol. Recipe, yeah.
Yeah, 220 is temporary.
Okay.
That should be it.
Have you got access to print it, Matthew, or not?
I'm wondering, do you have access to any email? I know you have
Yeah,
text.
yeah.
But
It's on the village
we
webpage?
Send it.
Is it on the webpage?
Yeah, it's on the village website, so.
Alright.
And
I'll
you-
work on it. I'll stop working tomorrow.
Okay.
It's right on the front of it where it says permit license payments, right?
Sure.
Is that where it's
Yeah,
at?
I will apply for it.
You got it, yeah, if you want.
Actually, it's on services. No, where is it
You
at?
know what I'm talking about?
Nick, I've got this, I've got it here too. so.
Alright. I think Zach's gonna hammer it out. You got that one?
I know where it's at, yeah.
We got all discussion taken care of. We have a motion and a second.
Okay, I'll just sit here.
All right.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Q, board discussion possible action on waiving Arena Community Park concession stand fee for Aces Home Challenge.
I'll make the motion to waive the Arena Community Park concession stand fee for Aces Home Challenge.
I'll second.
Motion by Matthew, second by Don to waive the Arena Community Park concession stand fee for Aces Home Talent. All those in favor, or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Board discussion, okay, this one this was at the beginning of the,
Now we go to the
yeah, board discussion, possible action on Arena Community Food Pantry and moving it back to the Village Hall.
So they're, Steve, you probably know.
Yeah, I talked with Ray a couple times about this. The Aces building over there, Sean and Rick are looking at renting the space that the food pantry is using currently out to a business. Because they don't get any income off of the food pantry. And Ray has indicated to me that once they're done with their June distribution, that second Wednesday in June, I think, is their distribution. I believe that's like the 13th or the 15th. They would have to move their stuff out. And right now, Ray doesn't want to continue with the food pantry. He wants to get out of it. And he's been trying to find somebody else to take over the food pantry. If he doesn't find anybody, or, if nobody comes forward, then we would just lose the food pantry from the community. So for the temporary thing would be to move their stuff into like our garage out back here so that they had a place to store it. He's got a total, I think, 8 refrigerators and freezers that they use, plus shelving and the food. He wasn't sure whether they would move the food or if they would just let the Southwest, what do they call it? Yeah, Dodgeville, Southwest, I forget the cap, yeah. If we can't find any, I would say we, if somebody doesn't come forward to run the food pantry, then it'll be dissolved. So that's what we're looking for now is temporary service. I had suggested that maybe we could look at finding space for them to move it back to the village hall.
To actually move in.
To actually move in, but if he's not gonna do it past July, he said July he was done, then, and we don't have anybody else, then that wouldn't even be an issue.
Right. So you temporarily okay the garage and advertise and try to find somebody, but if not.
Well, yeah, it's hard to find somebody like that. There's a lot of time, you know, he says between 40 and 60 hours a month that he puts in, and it's all volunteer, so. But I did ask Rich about, there is stuff in the garage. There's a snow plow and walk behind sweeper, and some other stuff that I probably wouldn't even be in the way, but, and he said they could get it out of there. It's just that the more stuff they have here, the less they have over in the garage anyway, so.
Do we have to take action on this right now? Because I feel like we need a lot more information from Ray about Ray and Chrissy about what are they looking for, what's in, you know, what does it entail, in, you know, to get someone to take it on? Because last I heard about it was, where are they being dropped as a partner food pantry? Were they going to go with a nonprofit status themselves, and everything just kind of no information stepped forward since?
Ray doesn't want to do it anymore, so whoever would do that would have to make those decisions.
Person raising their hand in the audience.
Is that okay? The thing you need to also realize is that Ray and Chrissy were doing the backpacks for the kids to go home so they have food over the weekend. So that's something we don't want to lose. I mean, if we lost the food pantry, bad enough, but those kids have nothing.
Yeah, and of course, it wouldn't be active during the summertime, but we, you know, it's something that we really need to work on as a community, not particularly as a board, but as a community.
They have to be on the 18th when?
By the middle of, they have to be moved so that right after they get done with that distribution in June.
So we don't act, if it's night by the next regular meeting next month, we'd have to okay at least the garage.
Well,
Or whatever, I mean.
you know, it'd be nice to be able to tell them a little bit quicker than that, that they can do it. I mean, otherwise they have to find someplace else to put stuff, so.
Do we have any concerns about
Where do you go right in this
the
one?
temperature the garage may get to with certain types of foods? Since it's probably in a climate controlled area now.
Well, yeah, for the summer anyway, until somebody else comes forward to find a regular space, this would just be storage for the summer, so.
Storage for empty refrigerators.
Yeah. But the issue you make, Catherine, is right. I mean, that space, that apartment space that's back there, probably isn't a very good fit for it. So,
I don't know where it was in the village hall previously. If that's still available and makes sense, it might make more sense to do that than putting it in a garage.
I do know that the office that they used to use, or the room that they used to use, is now the Public Works office.
We can do that.
Right. And the other one on the opposite side, I don't remember if they use that one or not, I can't remember. They use two rooms.
They
right?
were just here on both sides.
They were
at the
both
same
on
time.
there.
Okay, so then this other one is the conference room that the village board has set up for their closed sessions, yeah.
What is the former public works office then?
That's,
I know it's over here. Is it
the
unused?
village clerk is using that now, or Deneen did use that now. For storage.
I just,
There's
if we don't have to upset the
Yeah.
public works people now, and that space is available, it would probably make more sense to move it into there for now, if that's what's decided. Because then it's more easily accessible for the community in general, they don't have to have access through whatever.
This room over here is